Good morning to everyone. I am Dr. K. Vijay Kumar, Associate Professor, Public Administration, Government City College, Hyderabad. Today, our topic is Comparative Public Administration. Actually, last class we are started and half of the topic covered. Today, we complete the total topic of comparative public administration. Once again, I repeat it. These are the subtopics of comparative public administration. These are objectives, introduction, origin of comparative public administration, meaning and scope of public administration, significance of comparative public administration, source of comparative public administration. These sources are policy-oriented catalysts, comparative political management, American aid program, and comparative administrative group CAG, and approaches of comparative public administration. Here, these are the approaches that are bureaucratic system approach, general system approach, development approach. Then decline and revival of comparative public administration. Then lastly, conclusion. Yesterday we are completed up to meaning and scope of comparative public administration. Today, significance of comparative public administration. Significance of comparative public administration. Significance of comparative public administration. The comparative studies in public administration helps in widening the horizon of the discipline of public administration by promoting cross culture and cross racial studies that were previously limited culture bonds and ties. Then comparative studies in public administration contributes in formulating theoretical constructs, thereby providing scientific base of the discipline. Then the comparative studies further help in finding out how and with what modifications the administrative structure of a particular country can be successfully transplanted in another country given their different cultural settings. The significance of the comparative studies in the field of public administration can be highlighted with the help of these points. These are comparative studies in public administration helps in widening the horizon of discipline of public administration by promoting cross culture and cross national studies that were previously limited by cultural bonds and ties. Then comparative studies in public administration contributes in formulating theoretical constructs, thereby providing scientific base to the discipline of comparative public administration. Then comparative public administration not only contributes the understanding of the characteristics of individual administrative systems operating in diverse cultural settings, but also helps in explaining factors that are responsible for cross-national and cross-cultural similarities and dissimilarities in those administrative systems. It also helps to facilitate the explanations in the literature of public administration, as it enables scholars to identify the factors responsible for the success or failure of administration of a country. Such explanations are also helpful for practical administrators by creating example for them. Comparative analysis also contributes in highlighting the particular environmental factors that helps in the promotion of administrative effectiveness and functioning of administrative structures more successfully in that environment. Such analysis will also prove helpful for measuring the administrative capability of different structures as well as promoting their efficiency. The comparative studies in public administration also help in comprehending how one particular administrative system reacted to a particular problem or situation, thereby creating examples for the rest. Comparative studies further help in finding out how and with what modifications the administrative structure of a particular country can be successfully transplanted in another country given their different cultural settings. Thus, institution grafting is another advantage arising out of the comparative studies of public administration. The comparative perspective incorporates comparative study of the administrative systems that operate in diverse social, economic, political, and cultural milieu. It also studies the administration in historical perspective. Example, conducting competitive studies of the administrative systems in diverse temporal settings. It utilizes empirical tools in making a comparative analysis of different structures operating in different countries. The unprecedented increase in the number of countries after the Second World War, particularly in the developing world, with their own unique political and administrative systems, has promoted comparative public administration as a broad and significant discipline to examine and analyze the process of development. This is the significance of comparative public administration. Then, sources of comparative public administration. The comparative public administration movement draws its strength mainly from these sources, that are policy oriented catalysts, intellectuality oriented catalysts, the behavioral movement, comparative political movement, and American aid program, and emergence of third world countries, then comparative administrative group. These are the sources of comparative public administration. The first is policy oriented catalysts. Policy oriented catalysts, that is to develop the practical knowledge to make policy formulation and policy execution more effective. Policy oriented catalysts, that is to develop the practical knowledge to make policy formulation and policy execution more effectively. Then comparative movement, political movement, policy oriented catalysts, in that the modern state, because of its developmental and welfare orientation, formulates a number of policies and determines the priorities given the present complexity of socio-economic systems. Policy formulation is an extremely difficult exercise. Actually, it is a difficult exercise. Policy formulation is a difficult exercise. It take in any activity also, it is a difficult task. Policy formulation, it is a difficult task. It calls for immense data and rich experience. It has to largely draw upon the experience of different societies in those areas where one can benefit from other experiences. One can benefit from other experiences. They need not waste the time and resources. Why? Because there are experimented already. So one benefited from others' experiences. Then, because of every new venture involves trial and error method, comparative approach seeks to avoid these errors by making the experiences of one society available to another society. It is this advantage that makes comparative approach relevant to the policy formulation process. Then intellectuality oriented catalysts. Intellectual oriented catalysts, that is to develop universally relevant theoretical models. The human curiosity to seek generalists has been an old tendency of man. The curiosity is much more in the modern context when human experiences in unique, complex, and wide ranging. The modern context itself poses a challenge of human curiosity. The range of experiences leads to the doubtful propositions of universal laws and fresh inquiry. The attempt to seek these basic laws gave the necessary fillip to the comparative public administration movement. New intellectual developments in comparative sociology, anthropology, politics, and other areas stimulated the scholars of public administration to develop theoretical constructs with a cross cultural, cross national, and cross temporal relevance in their field. That is the intellectual oriented catalysts. Then the behavioral movement. The rise of behavioral approach in the public administration is a reaction to the classical structural approach. The dynamics that govern the human behavior became the focus of the study of administration. The dimension has been quite challenging. The behavioral approach challenged all the earliest theoretical propositions calling for new body of knowledge. It is this uniquenesses of human behavior that makes the comparative approach necessary and important. However, behavioral movement substantially contributed to the rise of comparative approach to the study of administration. The behavioral movement lead to the scholars of public administration searching for signs of public administration. Then comparative political movement. The political system, particularly of developing countries, posed of formidable changes as they started experiencing continuous instability. This posed a major question and called for deeper analysis. In political science, a major shift took place from studying political institutions to political behavior. The study of political behavior involves deeper and rigorous comparative analysis. It is the comparative politics movement that gave a fillip to comparative public administration movement simultaneously. Then the American aid program. The existence of American foreign aid program to newly emerged developing countries in the task of their national development insisted on the establishment of modern personal budgeting and planning agencies by the recipient states. Soon it came to the recognized that exogenous technical change required a complete understanding of the culture, context of administrative institution and behavior in foreign countries, which resulted in ecological perspective in public administration. Comparative administrative group was set up in the year 1963 as a committee of American Society of Public Administration, headed by Frederick F.W. Riggs. This group developed a program with three objectives. These are encouraging research. First of all, encouraging the research. This is the group objectives, comparative administrative group. It was established in 1963 in USA. This was headed by F.W. Riggs. This group has three main objectives that are: first one, encouraging research and encouraging teaching and contributing to more effective public policy, contributing to more effective public policy formulation in the area of development administration. This committee has initiated a number of measures to stimulate a debate on comparative public administration. It served as communication link between the scholars and practitioners concerned with development administration. On the whole, this group has widened the origins of public administration. It has opened the doors of discipline to all kinds of social scientists and stimulated interests among a wide range of academics in the problems of development administration. The ultimate performance of the comparative public administration movement has been to hasten the emergence of a universally valid body of knowledge concerning administrative behavior and to contribute to genuine and generic discipline of public administration. Further, the exposure of American scholars and administrators to the new features of the administrative systems of developing countries during the World War II period and the scientific, technologically and theoretical developments also influence the forms of administrative structures. Then the approaches of CPA, comparative public administration. The approaches to comparative public administration to learn the distinctive features of particular system, to explain the features responsible for cross-culture differences in the bureaucratic behavior, to examine the causes for the failure, to understand the strategies of administrative reforms. In the study of comparative public administration, F.W. Riggs pointed out three major shifts in emphasis are normative to empirical, then ideographic to nomothetic, means universal, then non-ecological to ecological. The Riggs pointed out three major shifts in emphasis of comparative public administration are normative to empirical, ideographic to homothetic, non-ecological to ecological, according to Riggs. The Riggs and Faraday Anderson gave rise to the emergence of three broad approaches in comparative public administration. These are bureaucratic system approach, general system approach, and developmental approach. Riggs and Faraday Anderson gave rise to the emergence of three broad approaches. in comparative public administration. These are bureaucratic system approach, general system approach, and developmental approach. In example, you take bureaucratic system approach. Max Weber, a German sociologist, built an ideal type bureaucracy based on legal rational authority system. This ideal construct has been the single most dominant conceptual framework in the study of comparative administration. Weber's model focuses on the structural characteristics of bureaucracy such as hierarchy, specialization, rationalist job structure, selection of personnel on the basis of merit, impersonality, predominance of norms, etc. The Weberian analysis became inadequate to explain the phenomenon as these bureaucracies are largely shaped by the cultural and traditional values of the society. The Weberian bureaucratic model by itself may not serve as an adequate tool, but it can provide a frame reference for comparative analysis. There are scholars who did work on comparative bureaucratic system. These studies focused their attention on the relationship between the administrative subsystem and the political system in which the administrative system operates. Then general system approach. It was Talcott Parsons who defined a system as a concept that refers both to a complex of interdependencies between parts, components, and process that involve discriminable regularities of relationship and to a similar type of interdependence between such complex organization and its surroundings environment. The general systems approach includes three important components that are the parts of system, second one interactions among such parts, and third one is interactions between the system and its environment. In the systems approach, it is assumed that the inputs enter from the environment into the system. Throughputs, which process the inputs within the system, and outputs which go out from the system into environment. It was F.W. Riggs was the first to attempt to use the model in comparative public administration. He developed an agraria industria model. Agraria represents a poor traditional society. Industria represents affluent modern industrial society. He developed a transia model symbolizing a transitional society moving from the stage of agrarian to that of industria. This model is based on the structural functional differentiation. Structural functional differentiation. The model consists of a comparative element in the sense that on the continuum from the fused to the diffracted, each society can be placed on one point or the other. That is how a model facilitates comparative analysis. According to him, he developed two agraria industria model. Agraria industria. Agraria means it is related to a traditional agriculture society. Poor they are. Then industria represents affluent modern industrial society. Then he developed Transia model, symbolizing a transitional society moving from stage of agraria to that of industria. Generally, it is occurred in the every societies. Then lastly, development approach. The complexity of developing nations has been the main catalyst of the emergence of both of the comparative public administration and development administration. While the development approach emphasizes the problem of developing countries, it cannot be confined only to developing countries. It is argued that even those countries which are industrially advanced face the challenge of social change. Therefore, it is concluded that development has universal implications and relevance. That is how development approach has come to be treated as an important component of comparative public administration. The three major conceptual approaches should be viewed as a mutually interdependent and not an exclusive categories. The bureaucratic approach is being increasingly used to study of developmental relations of bureaucracy in cross-cultural settings. Then the general system approach focuses its attention on functioning of administrative systems in their socio-environmental context. The development administration approach focuses on the dynamic interactions between the administrative system and its social environment. A synthesis of these three approaches provides a broader framework for understanding the comparative public administration. These are the three approaches of comparative public administration. According to F.W. Riggs, Faraday, Anderson, gives the rise to the emergence of three broad approaches in comparative public administration, that is bureaucratic system approach, general system approach, and development approach. Then decline and revival. Decline and revival of comparative public administration. The decline started in 1970, and in 1970 the Ford Foundation terminated its financial support to the COG, Comparative Administration Group. The COG established in 1963 with the financial assistance of Ford Foundation only. So then after 13 years, 7 years, 63 to 70, then automatically it terminated its financial support to the comparative administrative group. In the beginning of the 1970s, saw the decline of the comparative public administration. In 1971, The Ford Foundation terminated its financial support to the Comparative Administrative Group. In 1973, the COG itself was disbanded and merged with the International Committee of American Society for Public Administration to form a new section on international and comparative administration. New section on international comparative administration, SICA, SICA. Its major journal, the Journal of Comparative Administration, ceased to publish from 1974 after 5 years of existence. Its legacies were absorbed into the larger field of political science and public administration. Robert T. According to Golumbieski, its failure rests substantially on a self-imposed failure experience. It sets an unattainable goal, that is, in its early and persisting choice to seek comprehensive theory or model in terms of which to define itself. According to Peter Savage, comparative administration started with no paradigm of its own and developed none. However, early 1980s saw the revival of comparative public administration. The revival started in 1980s. Many scholars made efforts to give a fresh life to its comparative administrative groups. The scholars include Fareledi, Charles T. Goodsell, Zhang, Milton Isban, G. E. Gaydon, Noemi Gaydon, and others. According to Fareledi, at this juncture, what comparative public administration needs is not prolonged post-mortem of the past contributions, but vigorous pursuit of attractive new opportunities. Then Charles T. Goodsell, in his article entitled "The New Comparative Administration, a Proposal," it was in 1981, recommended that the scope of comparative public administration should be extended to cover comparisons at supranational and subnational levels of analysis. To him, it should embrace all studies of administrative phenomena where the comparative method in some case is explicitly employed. He suggested comparative studies to focus on these aspects. According to John S. John, the comparative public administration did not deal with comparison of methods and strategies of organization change and organizational development in the cross-cultural context. So he suggested comparative studies to focus on these aspects. In spite of the drawbacks noticed, comparative public administration is a bright feature in some areas of public administration. Feraledi, the comparative perspective will become more prominent, enriching general public administration by widening the origin of interest in such a way that understanding of one's own motivational system of administration will be enhanced by placing it in a cross cultural settings. The new trust areas for analysis of comparative public administration can be human rights enforcement, disinvestment of public sector enterprises, study on citizen charter, then role of people in promoting, then role of private sector and voluntary agencies. Voluntary agencies are NGOs, non-governmental organizations, or community-based organizations, and women self-help groups, etc., etc. The new trust areas of the for analysis of comparative public administration. These are the so that's why the comparative public administration has a bright future in some areas of public administration. These are the areas it has the future of public administration, the future areas of comparative public administration in these areas. Then conclusion. The comparative approach is the beginning of using new methods to look at the organizational theory. Although comparative approach is very old method to look at the old method, it has gained tremendous significance in the recent past. This is in response to the growing complexity of the third world and the increasing needs and demands of the modern times. Human societies, particularly the developing societies, have to provide a decent living to its entire people in a short span of time. There is wide scope and variety of experience to learn from each other. The comparative approach has sharpened different conceptual models which are being sought to be used for the purpose of comparison. These models include the bureaucratic system approach, the general system approach, and the developmental approach. However, no approach proved to be adequate and effective for the purpose of comparison at global level. In a divided and conflict-ridden globe with highly and necessarily value-loaded intellectual pursuits, the scope to develop a universally valid theory through comparative methods seems to be not a possibility in the near future. Near future. The approach has its own strength and vitality and has all the potential for new breakthrough in understanding public administration. So, the comparative approach is the beginning of using new methods to, to look at the organizational theory, although comparative approach is the very old model. Then the comparative approach has sharpened different conceptual models which are being sought to be used for purpose of the comparison. Those approaches are that uh, bureaucratic system approach, general system approach, and developmental approach. These approaches has its own strength and vitality and has all the potential for new breaks through in understanding the public administration. This is the conclusion of comparative public administration. Thank you.